Good morning, it's Nardi and this is the Daily Espresso, short shots of business ideas, and today we're coming from my other brother in Camberwell, one of our faves, and let's get into it. We're going to talk about planning, and you know, I've done my planning here at the cafe this morning, but normally I do it the night before, but today I thought, look, let's perfect timing to do it before the show, and do it before the post, and tell everyone about how I go about my day and how I plan just 3 things that lead me towards success in my day, my business, and my life. And here goes. So we work with 3 daily goals. All right, so I've got a goal. I theme my days. Today's Wednesday. We're calling it Walk-In Wednesday. Won't have to tell you why. And around that, I theme 3 specific goals that I need to achieve today. Nothing else matters other than me achieving those 3 goals. It's not 7, it's not 8. I've tried with things of people saying, you know, oh, you got to use the daily 8, or go with 4. 8's too much, right? You don't do one thing per hour of the day. You don't spend 8 hours of your day just sitting down working, doing on one particular, doing 8 different tasks. Doesn't really work. So we've narrowed it down and played with a number of different things, and 3 work perfectly for me. Sometimes I may not achieve 3. I might have room for 4. But the main goal is that we do 3, and we go for success, not perfection. So my hot tips for everyone are to do your planning the night before. Why? Because you've set your mind straight with what you need to do the next day. You don't have to scramble. You don't have to do anything that morning to come up with your goals and your plans. So night before is always ideal if you can do that. What happens is you also ease yourself. So if you've got a very, if your mind's racing and that's happening before you sleep and you've got trouble sleeping, getting it down on paper the night before will be amazing, and you'll see the difference it'll make. You'll feel that immediate sense of direction, that immediate sense of, of the goals that you need to tackle. And when you wake up in the morning, the next morning, after you hopefully have invigorated yourself, replenished your body, got yourself ready for the day, you know the 3 things that you've got to focus on. And then you go about your day doing that. How you go about it's your own, your own way of how you do it, depending on how you work. But what you do is you set out to smash out those 3 things, and nothing else matters other than those 3 things. With those, you're going to achieve massive success, and you're going to have a fantastic business, and you're going to have a fantastic life, and you're going to say awesome and thank you, and you're going to get yourself a little book like this, and you write it down. Now, the question that people say to me is, why are you writing it down? Why is it in a book, not on your mobile or whatever it might be, your smartphone? And is there an app for that? Yeah, there are. There are hundreds of apps. There are all sorts of stuff. And there's dedicated specific books. Why a book? So the reason why a book is when you write it, you remember it, and there's something special about human beings in the brain that when you write it down, you remember it, and you are more accountable to it. And we use applications to monitor our plans and our tracking and our goals through our business completely. But just doing that thing on paper every day is absolutely amazing, and there's something special about that. So, Chris, I might actually throw it to you and ask you a question, because you have a special book. You have a special book that you write, a special book that you write stuff into every day, and perhaps you can really quickly share it. So, what do you use, and why is that? Because you've only just recently gone into that.
Yep.
Why do you use that, and why is that different compared to some people that just, maybe like myself, just write it into a book?
Yeah.
Flick it across.
Well, let me flick across.
Flick it across.
I can't flick it across.
Maybe none of you just hold it.
How about this?
The button's not working.
not
It's a big shout out. It's a book called Productivity Planner, and it's a big shout out to those guys. I actually saw them on the Ask Gary Vee show, and they have gone from 0 to 7 figures in 2 years as a company, which is pretty amazing as well, and they're a pretty cool feat in their own right.
What's their name?
The book's called Productivity Planner. They also do another thing called the 5-Minute Journal, So you can Google either of those two. Again, beautiful book, beautifully presented. And the purpose of it is that you start with a weekly goal. So you start your 3 most important tasks that you want to achieve for the week, then the secondary goals that you want to achieve, and then the other activities. And then you transform that into each day. And it actually has the number 1 most important task for the day. And the kicker with what they say is that they say to break it into 25-minute blocks. So you work on a task, or you allot 25-minute sections with a 5-minute break. So if you think a task is going to take you, as an example, an hour and a half, that will give 3 of these little 30-minute blocks. Okay, so you allocate that, and then you actually track on how long it took. So not only are you making sure you complete the task, but you're actually doing time management so that you can actually plan out your day, and then you can transfer that to your calendar. So that's a really great way of actually managing your time. So then you actually say, at the start of the day, I think I'm going to be able to achieve that in 2 of these half-hour gaps, and then you actually, when you've completed that, you say how long did it actually take you, and that's a really great way to manage it.
That's cool. Quick one. So, do you? And I'll flick it back to me. Do you? And I've got. Thanks, Emil. Thanks, my. Where are you now? Are you in Hawaii, or I know you've left Mexico, so Emil. So thanks to Emil for that awesome question. Well, actually, what he's joined the conversation and provided some insight, and he said, love the narrowing down of daily goals. I set an essential goal per day, so only 1, because 3 thins him out. That's surprising, but no, look, everyone's different, and I mean, when you've got family, kids, etc., and you might work from home, it can be tough. It can be tough to achieve. So, you can narrow it down to 1, that 1 ultimate goal that you need to achieve. Why do we use 3? Typically it's worked really well. Yeah.
The 2 single espressos.
Oh, thank you. There he is. There, you're live. You're on cam. There, see, my other brother never ceases to amaze us. Thanks, guys. Keep trying. You're doing well. So yeah, I mean, look, and that's just an example of anything works. As long as you plan and you set out a goal. I'm not saying, guys, you need to go out and you need to set 5 or 7 or 10 or 3 or 11 goals. You know what? If you can smash out 12 mini goals, fantastic, well done. Try and separate goals and tasks a little bit, because your daily tasks and what we term our whirlwind is very different to what determines your success, right? So what defines rather your success. So if you've got something that you can walk away at the end of the day and say, I have succeeded, I have achieved, and it's just like your daily tasks, then you're doing the right thing. So, Chris uses a book. I use I use a journal, if you like. Write that down. Mine's purely business related. So if there's any personal in there, it might be a little asterisk. It might be in addition to the 3. But that's how we go about it, guys. We hope you've taken a lot out of this, and hopefully it's inspired you to change a little bit of the way you work, or refine what you're doing right now. This is the Daily Espresso, short shots of big ideas. I'm going to join my espresso. There's Chris. I'm Nadi. We'll catch up with you tomorrow. Cheers, guys.